make big holes, tackle the f***headed bastard. We go home, we drink some beer, we party. Let's go!
Hey, let's go. Welcome to Seth's Smorgasbord of Sports, coming to you from the Fan Zone at 51 West Studios. Got my buddy G-Rat Hess here with me today, and we're going to go over the Week 3 NFL schedule. We're going to talk about what we think is going to happen in the games. You ready to dive into it?
It's been a crazy 2 weeks, so let's get it going.
Yeah, man.
About to hit into the meat and potatoes of this season.
Right. Like, the first 2 weeks have been exciting, and it always gets more exciting as it, kicks through. So, Thursday night this week, we got the Titans at the Jaguars. So how do you feel about that, dude?
Could have given us a little bit more to be excited for Thursday Night Football, but regardless, I think Jacksonville will bounce back. They'll bounce back at home. They had a tough loss last week where they really shouldn't have ran that ball from the 4-yard line to end the game, but that's a different conversation. But I think they bounce back pretty strong.
In the bathroom!
Interesting take, man. I got to go with the Titans in this game. I feel like they looked stellar week 1. Their defense looked really good against a hyped Browns team. They kind of stifled a little bit there in week 2 against the Colts, but I feel like they usually beat the Jaguars. They're kind of mad that they lost to a division rival, and the Jaguars, rookie quarterback, there's not much expectation on him. It would be great if he did win that game. It would be like a huge win for him, but I feel like the Titans will win that game.
My biggest thing is Jacksonville's defensive line against that Tennessee offensive line minus Taylor Lewan, and they've been struggling the last 2 weeks. And I think that they get some pressure early, and I think it's a real close game, but I think Jacksonville ekes one out at home.
That's a fair point. I got Derrick Henry going off, though. Our 1 p.m. games for Sunday, it's 1 o'clock game, so we're going to start off with a real cheese fest. The Dolphins probably going to get smacked for third week in a row. They play the Cowboys at Dallas.
Yeah, that's actually going to be my lock of the week. I do not see.
But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame.
Miami going into Dallas, the way they've looked the last 2 weeks, even though they started out sloppy week 1, they bounced back, and Prescott's looked amazing. Looks like he's really trying to earn some money.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. He wants that big contract. He's been balling out to start this season. The next game we got is kind of interesting. Cincinnati and Buffalo. That's an interesting game.
That is a good game. Buffalo's looked really good these last 2 weeks. I know they haven't been playing the best competition, and you can say that all day, but that secondary is legit. Josh Allen looks like more comfortable this year at least, and I just think that at home they're going to defend it. Cincinnati has not looked good outside that first week. They kind of came back down to earth.
All right, I got you. Well, this is going to be my upset of the week. It's hard for me to believe that the Bills are going to start 3-0, and it's hard for me to believe that the Bengals will start 0-3. They got a rookie head coach. He's really hyped to win a game and win his first game in the NFL. I feel like the Bills fans, they cheered for Andy Dalton when he got them into the playoffs over the Ravens a couple years back. So they're not going to be cheering for him this Sunday because I feel like Andy Dalton's going to go in there. He threw for 400 and some yards on the Seahawks at Seattle. So I feel like he's going to blow up with John Ross and Tyler Boyd. That's my upset of the week, man.
He might not throw 400 yards the rest of his career.
No, he probably won't do that, but I still think he's going to win. They're 0-2 and the Bills are 2-0.
I get it.
That's my upset of the week. Next game we got Detroit at Philadelphia. We got Lions-Eagles. What do you feel about that, Garrett?
If Detroit would have lost yesterday, I might have went with them for an upset. But Philly's offense still looked good last night, even though they lost pretty much half of their skill players, it seems like, in the first quarter. They still look legit. And I don't know if their defense had, especially in the secondary, had problems, but unless Galladay goes off, I just don't see Detroit putting up enough points to even contend.
I hear
especially
you there.
Being at the Link.
Yeah, Philadelphia's pretty tough at home. Kenny Galladay did have a good game against the Chargers secondary last week, but I feel like the Eagles will get the job done at home. Carson Wentz won a rebound from last week. The Lions usually don't strike 2 weeks in a row.
And they still have, they got a tough schedule.
That's pretty rough. All right, the next game, this one's pretty easy. We got the Jets and the Patriots.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know New England usually drops one earlier in the season. The only thing is Darnold's not playing. Quentin Williams is still hurt. Mosley might be back, but I mean it's unlikely. Like they just have nothing going for them right there. But I do see New England dropping one early. By default, I can't see them losing to this team.
No way.
Especially not in Gillette.
Look, I don't know who they play next week. The Patriots. It might be a different story. This week, they're cruising to another victory. They're on another level right now. They're hyped up. Their offense is fire. Tom Brady said they don't even look good. Man, that offense looks amazing. They won 33-3 and 43-0. They got another cake opponent. They're going to roll them over. They're going to totally roll over the Jets. They're going to embarrass them.
I really wanted to take that upset so bad.
Even if Darnold was playing, there's no way I'm rolling with the Jets in that game. Like,
no. They're going to lose one early just on the road, not at home.
I don't know, but...
Hey, this is Mark the Bleacher Shark, and I'm here with Seth's Smorgasbord. Say that 3 times fast. Seth's Smorgasbord of Sports. Watch it. Let's go.
The next game we have is the Falcons at the Colts. That's a pretty interesting game.
That might be one of the tougher ones to pick this week.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear your take on this because that's a really good game.
I think that the Falcons are going to come away, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to a blowout. Brissett played good last week, and they still have good skill position players around them. Marlon Mack looked really good. T.Y. Hilton still looks good. So it's not like they don't have playmakers with the defense. But I don't know. Atlanta looked good last night, and they went through some adversity.
They did look pretty good.
And I don't think that week 1 was much to look into. They're still getting through it. As long as they can stay healthy, I still think they're a playoff team. So I think they're going to go on the road and I wouldn't really call it an upset, but I think they're going to take a W.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it an upset either. I think I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. And I like Jacoby Brissett. I think he can compete in the NFL. But the Falcons have to, if they have anything to them at all as a team, they have to realize Drew Brees is out for the next 6 weeks. We have to capitalize as best as we can on this situation because the Saints just took a massive hit.
I agree.
And this is the Falcons' chance to pounce and possibly take this division because if they have a stretch here in the next 6 games where they explode and go 5-1 or 6-0,
it's gonna be tough to catch them.
Yeah, and the Saints drop off and go 2-4.
You know what your problem is? You have no game.
What you know about game?
But it's the Raiders and the Vikings at Minnesota.
Minnesota's got to bounce back. It's not even a big game, so Cousins is going to throw for 400 yards.
See, I don't know. I feel like the Vikings are a run-first team now, but I feel like they'll run it down the Raiders' throat.
They will.
Yeah, like, they have a pretty tough defense.
The Raiders looked good, though, yesterday, minus that one quarter. You get rid of that one quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
they looked amazing.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to put up points.
He's going to.
And the Raiders' defense, I'm going to give their defensive line some props so far this season. They look tough against Denver week 1. Their offensive line's terrible.
Yeah.
But honestly, they look pretty tough. And I think you agree that this is the game
That
of
is
the
the
week.
game of the week.
Ravens at Chiefs, man. Like, man, just take it away.
Man,
'cause
Lamar's looks good. Mahomes looks good. Chiefs' defense has looked better. Your all's defense is better. It's such a hard game to pick. I think eventually it doesn't really turn into a shootout, but I think eventually like their defense gets a stop, and since it's at Arrowhead, I don't think it's good. I'm going Chiefs like 35-30.
Man, that's like my sky. I picked 35-31, but
No
yeah,
Oh, 31.
Yeah, I picked 35-31 Ravens. I think the Ravens will try to run the ball and control the clock in this game. You know Mahomes is going to score, but I said Lamar gets the ball in his hands, game-winning drive at the end of the game. I think he's going to take the Ravens down. I mean, he's been playing stellar so far this season. He set records in the first 2 weeks.
He has.
And Mahomes is the MVP from last year, and he looks exactly the same. But I feel like the Ravens' defense is like that much better than the Chiefs, and they want some revenge for last year. So I feel like the Ravens are going to take this game. I
can't root like against Lamar because he's looked so good the last 2 weeks. He really has. I don't know if he's like on that level. Like I feel like he's down. He's not gonna like have like a goose egg or anything like that. But I don't think he's gonna like go off this week like he has the last 2 weeks. I think he's gonna have like a little humbling experience being on the road.
That's interesting.
And I don't know. I think when it all comes down to it, Mahomes is gonna have the ball in his hands and he's just going to go Mahomes on him.
I mean, I feel like Mahomes will definitely have a good game, but Lamar has a humongous chip on his shoulder.
He does.
Okay? He wants to perform in a game against a quality team.
He does.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Exactly.
All right, we got Denver at Green Bay next.
I don't want to sound like a homer, but this is my upset of the week. I had to pick one, and a lot of these games are tough to pick, and Denver is still beating themselves up today. I'm still in shock. I'm a Bears fan, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? And I know it's at Green Bay, but Green Bay's not going to go 16-0. They're going to drop a game here and there. And it's
Said, but I feel like, I feel like Joe Flacco's good. And I feel like that defense has good pass
I know
rush,
you
good
like
secondary.
Flacco.
But I feel like the Packers get the job done at Lambeau more
I know
times
you
than
do.
not, and the Packers are going to win that game. All right, we got 4 o'clock games starting up now. We got the Panthers and the Cardinals, and take it away, dude. This is a good game, in my opinion.
It is a good game.
It would be if Cam Newton wasn't.
Panthers are a mess.
Yeah, he's
Cam
0-8.
Newton hasn't looked the same so long, and you keep waiting for it. You're like, eventually he's going to be healthy, but it just never happens. And Tampa Bay, really made them look bad. That defensive line made them look worse than what I think they are. But Arizona came off 2 tough losses.
Well, a tie and a loss. But
Well, a tie. It should have been a
count it
win.
as a total loss.
That's for playoff reasons, so yeah. But they were down 24-6 and forced that game to overtime. And
27.
they just... And then last week, they didn't look terrible. I mean, they just...
No, they played us tough. They
played them tough. I think that this is the week they get it figured out. And I don't even think they're a great team, but I think that they do find a way to beat a struggling Panthers team who doesn't really have an identity right now.
Correct. I totally agree, dude. Wasn't your lock for the week the Dolphins and the Cowboys?
Cowboys, yeah.
This is my lock for the week. Cam Newton's 0-8. His last 8 games started as the Panthers quarterback. That's counting the teams.
It's looked rough.
It's rough, man. I feel like the Buccaneers probably win. I think I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers at home, and they start 2-1 tentatively with Bruce Arians. That's kind of crazy to say, 2-1 Buccaneers, but they beat the Panthers on Thursday Night Football. They've had a long week of rest, and the Giants just suffered a pretty demoralizing loss to the Bills. And
I don't see them really getting their footing, especially not week 1, unless Jones goes in and is like world beater. But they still haven't fixed the secondary. They still haven't fixed that pass rush. So
it would totally take
a
Daniel
lot.
Jones going off. I feel like the Saints, Teddy Bridgewater, he has a week to game plan. I feel like it won't be as ugly as everyone thinks, but the Seahawks usually win at home, and Russell Wilson played a heck of a game last week on the road on the East Coast at Pittsburgh, so I feel like he'll get the job done at home against Teddy Bridgewater, who's, let's face it, he's backup quarterback.
Seattle's looked good these last 2 weeks. They really have. I already had them as a playoff team, but they might do some damage in the playoffs. That pass rush is ferocious, and Russ has been playing on fire. If they can just stay in games and set that pass rush forward, they're not going to lose a lot of games this year.
Week 1, they kind of worried me, but last week against the Steelers, they looked pretty good.
They still rebounded, and that was a tough game.
It's true. All right, give me 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't burp. All right, the next game on our list is the Texans at the Chargers. So I think that's a pretty good game. What do you think?
That is a great game. I think the Chargers bounce back at home. See them dropping 2 back-to-back.
The Chargers don't really have a home. All right,
that's true.
That's my thing. They don't really have fans or anything, and they play in a 30,000 seat soccer stadium. So they're kind of playing all 16 games in front of an away crowd. And I don't know.
It's not real, but it's different than going to another team's
that's true.
home
That's
stadium.
Obviously, I mean, they're playing at their home facility.
What's called a neutral stadium.
Yeah, it's like a neutral ground. They got their own amenities and everything, but it's the other team's fans.
I get that.
It's
yeah,
weird. And,
I get that.
I'm not saying that has a huge effect on the game because they went 12-4 last year. They were good. They made the playoffs, but Houston's a good team despite that offensive line, which I think's improving slightly week by week. I mean, they've definitely had some issues with it, but Deshaun Watson, really good quarterback. Nuke Hopkins, I feel like they're going to get the job done. They kind of got shut down a little bit by the Jaguars last week, and I think they're going to want to rebound, as like you said about Rivers. I think they're going to want to rebound. It should be a close, good game.
Yeah, I get that.
And it could go either way, but I'm leaning towards the Texans.
Hey, everybody clap your hands.
It's our last 4 o'clock game. It's the Steelers and the 49ers.
don't know what to think of the Steelers. I really don't.
I'll sum it up for you right quick. They suck. Okay,
They're-
they suck. They don't even have Big Ben. They're A-B-less,
Yeah.
Le'Veon-less.
That's the thing. They're gonna have a week to pregame,
listless.
and I don't know. The thing is, I don't know if I'm completely sold on the 49ers though. Like, yeah, they've looked decent the last 2 weeks. They got 2 W's, but I don't know if they look like a 3-0 team if they were playing any other team. But yeah, backup quarterback, and
I remember a season where the Bills started like 4-0 with Trent Edwards and
I
finished
remember
like
that.
6-10.
I remember that.
So I feel like, I'm not saying they're going to go 6-10, but I feel like the 49ers had kind of, I'm not going to say easy, but easier games to start the season, and I feel like they're going to walk all over the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers got to travel to the West Coast, and the 49ers are gelling right now, and as long as Garoppolo can stay healthy, they should win that game. I mean,
I
the
think
Steelers got a
Kittle
backup
bounces
quarterback.
back this week too. He had
Yeah.
a rough game last week.
And they still won.
And they still won.
They still won, and Kittle's one of their biggest weapons. So I
I
think they'll
do.
win.
I agree with that. Pittsburgh's a mess right now, and until I see differently, it's hard to pick them.
Pittsburgh's a total mess. I'm not picking them until they show me anything different.
You know what? I'm about to say it. Okay. I don't care that you broke your elbow.
Sunday Night Football next week. Why is this on Sunday night instead of the Ravens and Chiefs? The
It's
Rams
a good question.
and the Browns. The Browns get primetime 2 weeks in a row. NFL, what are you doing? Like, hey, come on.
I think they're going to go on the road and get the win.
The Rams?
Mhm.
All right, I got you. Yeah, they're playing on the road. Okay. Yeah, the Rams are going to win that game. The Browns,
I do.
if the Browns won 100-0 versus the Jets tonight, because that's when that Monday night game is tonight. If they beat them 1,000-0, I'd pick the Rams next week.
I know you would, but
Because
that's a little...
the Browns are
just
they're-
expecting them to be the old Browns, and I think everybody is. And
They are.
after they looked week 1, it's hard to argue, but one of these weeks they're going to get it together, and I don't know.
They're just the old
maybe
Browns
not
with
next week,
fancy
though.
watches. That's all they are, dude. Come on.
I get that.
It's a freaking mistake by the late. I don't believe in the
A lot of
Browns.
egos, but
A lot of ego.
It's
Monday
gonna-
Night Football, though. You got your Bears at Washington, man. That's interesting. Earlier, what are they? 1-18 on Monday Night Football since '98.
they are.
That's all you need to know. They're gonna lose. Like I know they usually beat the Bears and everything. Their one win might be against the Bears for all I know. I'm not sure who that one win is against.
No, they beat us on Monday Night Football, but that was at Chicago. I don't know why I'm admitting that.
Oh, that's at Washington.
Yeah,
So
I
that's-
don't know why I'm admitting that, but that was in my lifetime. I don't ever remember us ever beating the Redskins in my
I mean,
lifetime.
I remember the D'Angelo Hall 4-pick game on Jay Cutler. That was crazy, but that's not going to happen
Blasphemy.
this week. That's not going to happen this week. I feel like the Bears will get the job done on the road. They did it last week at Denver, and the Redskins, I mean, Case Keenum's look decent, but it's the Redskins, man.
My biggest thing is our defense still looks good, and
Yeah, their
we're
defense is good.
due for this offense to have some kind of output, not look dead. I know
Yeah.
that everybody's saying, like, yeah, they suck, and we did get the W, but that offense is going to break out. We have a lot of skill position players, and
It should.
like
should
we played
break
2
out.
good defenses back to back. Eventually, we're going to come against a team where the offense is going to look even better than they actually are, and I think they're going to show out on Monday night.
Well, Garrett, I appreciate you for coming on the show, dude.
Yeah, man, anytime.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I always
Having
love
me.
going over football, and
Yeah, all the time, man.
we always
That's all I
get
do.
into it. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, share it with